Martin Guitars has launched a pair of new signature models that they have made in collaboration with Johnny Marr. These are very cool. One of these is very different. We're excited to tell you all about them, so stick around. Hey, you're watching Alamo Music TV. My name is Chris McKee.
I'm Cooper Greenberg.
We're here with Alamo Music in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, turn on notification, like our videos. If you want to support the channel, visit our spring store link below for custom swag and check out our podcast, the Fretboard Confessional, wherever you get your podcasts at. So if you haven't heard, Martin has partnered with Johnny Marr, a longtime Martin fan, to bring out a pair of signature guitars for Johnny. And that's right, it's a pair of guitars. They are both very, very similar with some key distinct differences between them. They're M body, so you know I'm already a fan, and I've been a fan of Johnny Marr's for quite a while. So pretty cool to have these out. I've got the M7 and you've got the M6.
That's all you need to know. 6-string and 7-string.
That's it. End of video. Thanks guys for coming. No, so I'm big fan of Johnny Marr's. Love the stuff he did with Smiths. Love the stuff he's done kind of solo. Love the stuff he does with like Hans Zimmer's band. He's just a phenomenal musician who makes things look way too easy. Yeah. And then when you try to do it, you realize not so much.
Yeah. I'm trying to get like, what's your favorite Smiths song out? But then I know you're going to ask me. And so I tried to choose, but
I don't know what my favorite one is. I get into these modes where I will just listen, and I've kind of said this before. I don't know if I've said it on our channel. I said it when we were at Taylor. I listen to like albums.
Yeah, which are all great albums to like. They're all hits, you know. The Johnny Marr stuff is cool. This ain't no Jaguar though, you know.
No, it's not. It's not even offset. Like, what's up with that? Because Martin has an offset body now.
It's nice to have somebody else that has crossed over multi-manufacturer signature artists. That's like a SNL host 5 Timers Club kind of thing.
You've reached the upper echelon, like Joe Bonamassa and Eric Clapton.
Eric Clapton, you know. But yeah, we love the M36 has long been Chris's secret weapon. And also his go-to recommendation for somebody in the store that doesn't really exactly know what Martin they want. Mm-hmm. The M is like a perfect in-between, quadruple O size, a little bit bigger on the body, but still that comfortable depth.
Yeah, jumbo width, triple O depth. So very comfortable. Awesome. They call it the Grand Auditorium or the Quad O or the M.
Quad O, yeah. I like the M, and I heard that they were going to do 7-string, and I immediately thought that we were going to get a low B.
Like a low B. So did I.
But we've got a high G.
That's it. It's really cool. Well, let's talk about kind of what's going on with both of these, and we'll talk about the strings. So, like you said, they're M bodies. They are 3-piece backs, like an M36 would be, or like a D35 would be. Oh, look, that one's off-gassing. That's what that is whenever he's wiping down a guitar that's nitro finished whenever you're watching our channel. So you've got a 3-piece back. You have a top of spruce.
Spruce. And
I'm saying it that way because that's all that's on the Martin website, which I find to be a little curious. It looks like it's Sitka spruce with the vintage toner on it.
It's gorgeous. Both of these are really pretty.
They're really nice tops.
Yeah.
I don't know why it just says spruce and then specifies East Indian rosewood, but nevertheless. Spruce top, you have scalloped bracing on here. You've got a genuine mahogany. So again, spruce, but genuine mahogany.
Genuine, yeah.
Ebony fingerboard and bridge. They both have the modern pyramid bridge with the drop-in saddle. And like I said, ebony fingerboard. You've got a genuine mahogany neck. And this is a distinction that we do need to talk about. This is a full thickness neck with a standard taper. So the minute you handed me one of these, I was like, that's a chunky neck. I like it.
Yeah.
So know that going in. Don't be turned away by that. Don't go, oh, I like thin necks. Maybe you don't know what you like.
And it's gloss.
And it's a gloss neck. So it's genuine mahogany, it's full thickness, and it's gloss. It's nice.
It feels really good.
Yeah, you've got the little doodad, the little...
Got the... I love that thing.
The volute.
The volute. So, really quick.
Oh, and we should say LR Bag's Anthem.
So, is that like 35 style fingerboard inlay?
Yes.
and 28 style strips
Yep.
on the 35 style back.
Yeah, and also more like a 28 and not like a 35. It doesn't have the white binding along the neck like you would typically have on a 36, even though it does have Grover tuners like you would have on a 36.
It's like a Frankenmartin, and I dig it.
It's like it's a signature model, y'all.
True.
Since it does come from the factory with the Ellerbach Anthem, which I think we've gone on record, that's one of my preferred pickups on the market. You get the, as Cooper would say, you get the control or the battery box in the bottom. I recently noticed, by the way, if you were to order a guitar from Martin, generally the way it came is it came without a pickup or it came with a pickup, and if it came with a pickup, it was done like that. Now they have the option to do it without the battery box there, which is interesting. So, because we've talked about that before, so I just want to throw that out. What else? So you've got an interesting thing. So we've talked about the neck, full thickness, standard taper, genuine mahogany, gloss finish. 1 11/16 inch nut width on the 6 string. Now this one has an extra octave string. What do you think the nut width is on this?
1 3/4.
1 11/16.
Really?
Yep, same nut width between the two of them, because it's really just an octave string, and so it I guess it just fits. You know, you got the string spacing to make it work.
You know, it's interesting. The only reason I bring this up is because I had somebody ask me yesterday, Bryce. Do you know if I got the 7 string, if I'd be able to take off the octave string and just have it normal string spacing on the 6 string? And the answer I got from Martin is it's all the same down here, but you would have to change up the nut.
Yeah, so the total width is the same. They've made a little bit of a difference in order to accommodate for that. Interesting question. I think if you want the 6 strings, go with the 6 string. I can understand wanting sometimes having it, sometimes not having it. You know, maybe post demo we'll talk about how it kind of works with that 1 octave string, because I think it does work, but I can understand someone going, I might want it sometimes, I might not want it sometimes. Yeah. I think if you did take it off temporarily, you know, without changing the nut, it's not that big of a difference. Yeah, you could really do without the octave string and it'd feel fine.
Let's take a listen.
Okay, so there you have it. Different use cases potentially for both of these guitars. I think the 7-string certainly adds a unique aspect to the flavor of the guitars. But let's talk about just the 6-string on its own first. Great guitar, great feel. One of the things I think sets it apart is that makes it a signature model is you've got the aesthetic choices and you've got the choice of the feel with the neck, the narrower nut than you would typically get on like an M36.
Yeah.
And then, all of that bracing that's pretty standard. So it's a great sounding, versatile guitar. What do you think about the feel of it?
I love the feel. I think for me, I would describe this as M36 that I love with a neck that I probably prefer over the normal M36. I got no problems with the modified low ove high performance tape, but I do.
That's what was missing there.
Yeah, I do love a thicker neck on a Martin, and this is like kind of just right. It's not quite authentic.
Yeah,
like barrel. What did Jimmy call it? It's like barrel and heel or something like. It's like which I love.
I actually like that neck.
I do too. It's great, but this is like kind of right in the middle. So if you are looking for a guitar, don't have to be a huge Johnny Marr fan. You like the idea of the M36, and you thought I may go custom, just get a little bit thicker neck. That's maybe one person out there in the world, very specific case. But now you got something. And I think it sounds fantastic.
And I like the choice of the darker binding on the neck versus the lighter binding. That's one of the things I prefer in like the 28s versus the 35s. So I dig that quite a bit. So
it's cool.
That's my choice on that. But then going over here, this is a kind of a different thing. And I personally know kind of how I would go about using this, but I want to hear what you have to say first.
I play that in every single song in the key of G, dude. It's similar to me to... when some brands do an 8-string baritone with the 2 middle strings, with an octave on there.
Or 9-string guitars.
9 strings, stuff like that. It helps to... This is like something that I experienced recently. Listening to a friend of mine record, and her voice was, right front and center. And then the engineer made her sing an octave up, like in falsetto, and then brought it way down in the mix. That's kind of what this is. It's like
a little shimmer.
It gets your open chords, especially like a nice little shimmer without it being full on 12-string sound, and it's great.
You know what it is? It's like the Salt Bay finishing
it's
salt.
Salt Bay.
Dude,
yeah.
It's just a little finishing salt on there.
Yeah, I remember 2016. I was alive.
So yeah, I kind of agree that particularly if you're strumming, it adds something. It's a shimmer. It's that little high end. It's a bit of articulation that's not there.
Yeah.
I do find that it can be just like on an 8-string baritone. It can be a little odd if what you're trying to do is like single note runs. Yeah. It can also work. It just depends upon what you're doing, because you're going to potentially, depending upon how you pick it, introduce that octave string, and depending upon how you're picking or what your melody is or what your run is, it can sound really cool, or it can be kind of like, huh?
Yeah.
Which is probably why, the question was, could you take it off and be okay? Because you might have use cases where you go, yeah, I really want that, and sometimes I don't really want that. So, but I dig it, and I really kind of applaud Martin for doing it, because it's a little weird.
It's a little weird, but it works.
But yeah, I like it a lot. Just like we've had those 9 strings, we're a big fan of the 8-string baritone for what it does in that mix, and so very, very cool. And I was kind of surprised. One of the things I went when I was looking at specs for this was how much did they widen the nut, if any. And to have the same specification means you're not really doing a great departure by going with this guitar, as far as from a feel standpoint.
Do you find it interesting that most people out there buying a guitar want typically a 1 3/4, and then most signature models from really, really fantastic guitar players are 1/11/16?
Like the the John Mayer LM Jam is also 1/11/16. I don't.
Is Eric Clapton not 1/11/16?
No, it's 1 3/4.
I thought he was 1 5/16. Very small neck.
No,
I'm just kidding. I made that up.
No.
But yeah, I do.
That's why they call them slow hands.
Yes.
No, you know what I think it comes down to is historically guitars generally had thinner or more narrower necks, and 1 11/16 was actually considered kind of wide. Historically, there were some like 1 3/4, and that was very wide. Now we would consider 1 7/8 to be very wide, and so I think over the years, people have just gravitated on acoustics in particular to a slightly wider nut width. And people that, players that had older instruments, maybe vintage or they just had them for a long, long time, probably came to prefer. Yeah. The reason I have a preference for 1 3/4 is because the guitars that I've played for over 20 years were 1 3/4 on acoustics. Now on electrics, most of the time they're 1 11/16 or pretty darn close to it. Yeah. And so, it's funny. I don't get hung up too much. I used to for a long, long time get hung up on nut width because I would feel more comfortable in one than the other. But all of my electrics are different, and now a lot of my acoustics are varying, and so I can kind of jump around and it's fine. But I get why the preferences exist both ways. And sometimes you get sausage fingers, so you need the space.
I need the space. Yeah, I think they did a great job. Big Johnny Marr fan. I can't play Smith's songs on here because of copyright strikes, but I hinted. All right, one more than the other.
A wink and a nod,
if you know what I'm saying. So
see on the WB label, they'll get you for a wink and a nod. Probably.
They'll get you. Yeah, we're gonna get struck down for this. So before that happens, watch the video and then go on our website to check out all the specs.
Yep, at alamomusic.com you can check out all the information and check out our photography of these guitars. We take great pains and effort to make sure we have great photos of the instruments we have available for you. And if you have any questions, you can actually just message us right there on the website. Give us a call, come into the store, send smoke signals, whatever it is. We are here to help you find the guitar to suit your needs, whether that is a custom Martin or maybe something to suit the Johnny Marr fan in all of us.
Johnny Martin.
They missed an opportunity there, didn't they?
They should have just added one more R on the logo. Martin.
Nice. So if you'd like information about these, go online. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, like our videos, like I said at the beginning. Comment, let us know your favorite Smiths or Johnny Marr song, and we will see you next time.